Okay, my name is Todd Standing. I'm the man who takes people out into the field and has them live interact with their eyewitness to Sasquatch. I have a good show for you today, a great show for you today. Always a great show. So I got some very interesting Sasquatch footage. Call it a red Sasquatch. I don't think the Sasquatch is really red. I think he's just in sunlight. The camera settings are off really badly. We were dealing with a broken camera at the day. It's from a colleague of mine who I immensely trust and think the world of. So we're going to go through that. We're going to talk about expeditions a little bit today, and yeah, we're going to do some comparisons and some. We're going to go through the. Let's say that Sasquatch do get discovered. What's the plan? What's going to have to happen? What are obviously Fish and Wildlife going to have to do, and how are they completely inept and completely unprepared to deal with this phenomenon, even to research it now, or even it's going to be such an uphill battle. And the more I think about it, the more it becomes really clear to me that they're going to really need a lot of my help for a long time. So we'll get into that next, so stay tuned. We're going to have an excellent show today.
For the past 10 years, I've been conducting expeditions, documenting chronicles, and interviewing people pertaining to the subject of Sasquatch. With over 20 years worth of hardcore backcountry expedition experience into the most remote regions, I've tracked and studied various North American species that have had little to no exposure to civilization. I am a student of many disciplines, trained in the art of tracking by a Cree Nations elder and a military sniper. My skill sets include camouflage techniques using the terrain and its features to mask ground movement, survival, evasion, and escape techniques.
I've been able to see for the first time some complete segments of Todd Standing's filming of Sasquatches, and I'm firmly convinced that he has filmed Sasquatches and that what he has portrayed in his documentary are indeed very close portraits, in fact, of the Sasquatch face.
Here you go, girl. There you go, girl.
Thanks again for tuning in. So I'm really, normally I don't do winter expeditions. It's likely I'm going to do a couple this year. Just because I've got some First Nations people, Native Americans, that are showing me that the Sasquatch are coming and taking their rabbits out of their snares. And he claims that it's ongoing, it keeps happening. So, and I think his tracks are legit. He's very close to Nordegg, where the troop of Sasquatch I studied for many years and I'm still studying. So they do a winter expedition. And then we're gonna have all the expeditions I'm gonna do this, when the snow melts up this year. There's gonna be a ton. But I had some people, the difference between boots on the ground and theorizing in a lab really pisses me off. Ask any carpenter who's building a design for a house, or ask any technician who's like building a bridge, and everything in the lab, everything is perfect and nice and dandy. But I'll tell you something, when you come out here in the wilderness, like as a filmmaker, Survivor Man taught me, in a film, in a movie, you have this thing called contingency, where it's 10% for things to fall apart and get wrecked, because bad stuff happens and you can't plan for that. So they call it contingency. He's learned after years of doing Survivor Man TV, well, all the stuff he's done with survival, the outdoors of it all. Our contingency is 20 to 30%. Cameras get wrecked, equipment gets busted, bears will tear your whole life apart out in the bush. It's like so much contingency in the wilderness. But what I wanted to get at is, somebody said, why don't you just do the expeditions for free? You don't need Todd. And I agree, come with me and do them for free. Did you know I do free expeditions? Let me tell you something. When you come out here, let's say you're going on a vacation out here in Canada. So if you're gonna get a hotel and rent a vehicle, that's $300 a day. Or if you go with a big RV and campsites, it's $250 for the RV and $50 a day for the campsite. Then you got about $100 for food. Then you throw into their gas, you gotta buy bear spray, wood, chairs, bug spray, guns, specialty sat phones, all the stuff that I have. The list just goes on and on. I could be here for 20 minutes. You're easily pushing into well over $600 a day. Last time I checked, just the cost of expenses alone. So 600 times 7 is $4,200. An expedition, I charge $35. And then you got to throw on a guide fee, because I'm a guide. And man, I'm telling you, you want to come out with like a regular guide, never mind a celebrity guide. And let's face it, you're going where I've took Survivor Man. You're going where I've taken John Beninigo and Jeff Meldrum saw a Sasquatch, and there have been tons of sightings. You're really standing on the shoulders of a decades of experience from myself and from what others have taught me. So the value of these expeditions, I'm sorry, when somebody says that, somebody challenged it, just go out for free. Well, you get Todd Standing for free, because if I was going to charge a guide fee, it'd be about $1,000 a day, I think would be fair. I mean, for a regular crappy guide that doesn't know nothing, it's $500 a day. And I've spent thousands of days in the backcountry and in these particular regions, at least hundreds of days of experience. And you do not go backcountry. Do not go backcountry. Survivor Man said this in one of the episodes with me. You do not go backcountry without somebody who has a high degree of survival skills. High degree. Let me tell you, what am I at? I've done well over 50, maybe 100 people if you count film crews that I've taken out into the wilderness. And no one's ever been harmed or damaged in any way. We've never had any trouble that I didn't very easily manage and handle. And there's a good damn reason for that. You come into my research area, the bears know me and they're afraid of me. The goddamn well, they'll shit themselves running. I could take people out and I go, oh, there was a bear up over here. And they go, why is there crap all over? Well, this is where he walked along and caught my scent and he crapped himself and ran. And believe me, that's what you want. I believe, in truth too, I think that's what happens when a Sasquatch comes around a bear. I think they literally crap themselves inside. I'm talking like a big male grizzly. He'll know my smell. And I've trained them to fear me. You stay away from this smell. When you smell this, you run, because your life is in danger. So the big predators know that about me. And if I meet new ones, they're gonna get a lesson taught to them. So my expeditions are very, very safe. I could not, there's contracts and all this garbage, legal things about when you go on an expedition, and people have to sign them when you come out with me. But really the truth is, morally, if I saw somebody get harmed or hurt, it would end the expeditions. My morality I wouldn't be able to handle it if I saw somebody get really badly injured or hurt. And it was my responsibility. So I take people's safety so seriously, and that shows in my stats. 0 people hurt. I've had one person blow a knee coming down a mountain, just happens. Another person twist their ankle. And you know who took him out? Todd Standing took him out. I am 6'3". I walk around comfortably at 240 pounds lean. Believe me, you're getting out. Trust me, I'm getting you out. Nobody's leaving you behind. And if we did have to spend the night out there, we would survive, no problem. It would be very safe. Everything would be well taken care of. And don't take my word for it. Ask Jeff Meldrum, John Bitternagel, who passed away, never mind. And the great Survivor Man. Look at the shows. Look what he's saying about me. High degree of survival skills. Anybody knows that comes out with me sees I've been through these trails. I know them so well. I've been everywhere through these trails. I'm an excellent guide. And then you forget about the back last thing. People often see Sasquatch with me, and they often live interact with them. And they always see tracks that are from, past times, and I'll take them to spots where I've had encounters and talk about that. And they'll learn about survival and berries and, just tracking skills. I just teach, and it's a wonderful experience. So my expeditions are more than fair. Don't get me crunching numbers, boy, because I come out for free. Because I get to do the research, right? So it's pretty amazing, and so I'm very happy about that. So next we're going to get into the problem when this discovery happens, because it's going to happen. It has to happen. And it just has to. It can't go on forever. It's got to come to an end. I hope somebody gets it going on quick and ethically. It doesn't have to be me, but when the discovery happens, what needs to be done? What would be the next step? And I'll talk about that next. So the first problem we have with fish and wildlife in North America is they have no primatologists. And that is so significant. When you have, fish and wildlife officers, they're kind of jack of all, to be honest. I mean, you'll get bear specialists, you get mountain lion specialists, and that's good. Biologists that specialize in that, and that's true. But general wildlife officers are very jack of all. They're not master of any. So a primatologist is going to have a lot of experience working with gorillas or chimpanzees, if we're lucky. A really good experienced primatologist. And that's a great foundation to start with. But oh my God, Sasquatch are such another level of primate. I mean, and there's really, it's going to take so much time, because they are spiritual. They are, I'm going to say it right now, they're sentient, clearly. And even, you got to understand, they've evaded someone like me. Like I'm highly skilled, highly trained. They easily evade me. They evade the best in the world. They've evaded Survivor Man. The best trackers and hunters in the world have come out here. Sasquatch evade them. So they're far superior than we are physically and intellectually, intelligent-wise. In the wilderness, they're light years ahead of us. Like I would talk about my tracking levels are here. Like let's say my tracking levels are here. So you get a good tracker and then no tracking skills. So no tracking skills, a good tracker, Todd Standing. The Native American people are another level, and then they'll tell you Sasquatch are up here. So I'm trying to go from here to here. Normal people are trying to go from here to here. So it's, understand the difference of levels, and these levels are enormous. They're big steps, really, really big steps. So dealing with a giant primate, twice the size of a gorilla, that has exceptional intelligence, knows what a bird chirp means, understands the importance of a squirrel, of when the deer are moving, knows how the wind is going to shift. I don't believe bears and wolves, as intelligent and as amazing they are, even deer, I don't think they realize, okay, it's a nice sunny day, the sun's going to come up and the wind's going to change in an hour and go this way. And the Sasquatch know that. I've seen them move position. They live and die by the wind gauge. And I could go on all day with the enormous advantages they have. They know the terrain. They know every rock, nook, and cranny, and they move around in groups. Forget it. Like, the level that they're at, if they don't cooperate with us, it's man versus nature. And you don't verse nature, you lose. You survive within nature, you cooperate within nature. We are from nature, believe it or not. So the discovery is going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot of art, a lot of love, a lot of passion, good people. You can't go out there being a hard-nosed frickin' scientist because the Sasquatch won't like you. And if they don't like you, you're screwed. They got to like you. And believe me, Jane Goodall and Diane Fossey and Broody Gattigas, those orangutans, gorillas, and chimpanzees, they liked them. And there's a reason they were women. So boys like girls, and we're dealing with male-dominated societies with the Sasquatch, just like gorillas and chimpanzees. In fact, I find much more similarities between them and gorillas. I have conversations with primatologists, boy, like Ian Redmond, man. When I talk to him on the phone, we have a heyday. Because there's all that stuff you could read in books, but there's stuff in real life that we start talking about. What Ian Redmond, he is so badass. That dude is so tough. He's been bit by gorillas, he's been attacked, he's climbed up these crazy trees that are hundreds of feet in the air and the wind bouncing on the end of them with his own little homemade handles. Like, the guy is, he's so tough. I was so impressed with him. And when we started talking about the reality of what you do and how you do things that you can't talk about in a book, that you can't quantify scientifically, that's allowed him and Diane Fossey to have access. If you don't know who Ian Redmond is, he's one of the top primatologists in the whole world. He took over after Diane Fossey was murdered. So, see, these are the problems that we're going to face, and they're not small problems. And that's, oh my God. And then you start talking about the economics of it and land titles, and holy crap. No wonder this discovery has not been made. It's batshit crazy, this discovery. It's going to shake the pillars of everything as we know it. It's nuts. Like, oh my God, this discovery is huge. So, my point with all this, though, is once the discovery is made, I have a scientific background, and I'd be willing to go in a year. I could finish a degree and become an anthropologist, and then I can scientifically get involved with them, with this discovery process, and help them move on with it and work with it. Because right now, thanks to you people watching, thank you. I'm a full-time Sasquatch researcher. My expeditions are almost all filled up. 90% of people that come out with me and spend 7 days in the wilderness with me come back, 90%. So those are ridiculous numbers, and that's because there's so much love and wonder and magic in what we do. This is such an amazing, fantastic thing. And these people that have become expeditioners, they're my best friends. They really are. I love these people. I do. And you guys know who you're talking about. Stefan, Jonathan, William, John. I'm missing people, and I'm so sorry. But these people are just like, I go through hard times. I call them and talk to them. That's what happened with Survivor Man and I. He called me when he was going through the divorce. As he was sitting on the porch leaving his house because he had to give it to his wife. But that's because you go out here and you bleed and you survive. It's like the comradeship. And I'm not comparing it to war by any means. It's much more beautiful than that. It's actually, there's a camaraderie ship that you'll get with war. I can't say, I'm just from the theory of it, when you're fighting for each other and fighting to keep each other alive, but then the trauma of it, and we don't have, the trauma isn't here. It's more, replace that trauma with love. Replace that trauma with just joy, and we eat the berries together, and we talk about life and family, and you show your true colors when a bear charges or Sasquatch charges at you. You show your true colors. I've seen people cry and start sucking their thumbs and go home to mommy. That's the 10%. And no disrespect to them, because this is scary as hell. I saw a squirrel do something weird, drop a stick, and a dude jumped 4 feet in the air and landed his ass right beside me. Terrified. Dude, what was that? What was that? It was just a squirrel. It's okay. Oh, and you might laugh, and it is funny because this was a great big, huge, muscular, tough guy. But it's scary out in the wilderness, and there's bears and mountain lions out there, and the wolves aren't dangerous at all whatsoever, but it's scary just to know that they're around. They're big predators. That wolves won't harm you. Anybody that says that is a moron. I spent half of my life out here in the wilderness, and I've never known anybody to be harmed or injured by a wolf there. Anyways, we won't get into that today. I don't want to be more controversial and get into wolves and stuff. So next we'll get into this really cool piece of footage from a friend of mine, Randy, that I trust immensely. So we'll talk about that next. Sasquatch footage today. Randy's footage. My colleague and friend Randy, who is this wonderful, gentle version of John Bitternagel, is the way I would explain him. For those of you who know John Bitternagel, Randy is John's a lot about the science, but the personality, and Randy is not. Randy's about the spirituality. And Randy is an expert in the spirituality the way John was an expert in the science. And another difference too would be John was theorizing a lot and doing very superficial studies, where Randy has been boots on the ground like crazy. You go into his area, I'm talking like from Harrison Hot Springs to Golden Ears, and he'll tell you every trail. He'll tell you, well, that trail's gone. He'll tell you about trails that aren't even there anymore. Maybe you can go find them. And these trails, like, the guy's been backcountry like crazy. He knows Sasquatch, man. The stuff that he's shown me and John Bitternagel, I introduced him to John Bitternagel, and they became excellent, really good, close friends, which I was really honored. And I'm super happy about that. So this is Randy's footage. I've watched this footage quite a few times, and I'm seeing, just from my experiences and the many times I have eyewitnessed Sasquatch, I'm seeing tremendous amounts of authenticity. The difficulty that I have wrapping my brain around it, though, is the red. And I should get over that, because so many people have alleged that Sasquatch are red, or they've seen a red Sasquatch. And even I filmed one, but be quiet, because I filmed it when my camera was set to low light, so it's set for nighttime, and I was shooting in direct sunlight. And the reason for that was my main camera that I was really good with, I was an expert with, water was dropping down. I was in a snowstorm before, and the sun came out, and all the snow was melting really badly, and it was splattering all over my camera, so my camera lens got wet. I grabbed the other camera really quickly. And that camera was, just not set properly. And believe me, you don't look at your settings. There's a Sasquatch right there, and you film, and you shut your mouth, and you push record as fast as you can, because in 1 second that could be gone, and you'll never see that again. And I'll tell you, after years of not having success filming them again, I filmed a Sasquatch in California. It's been 3 years now since I've actually filmed a Sasquatch. And now, as of September, October, November of 2019, I have Sasquatch footage again. So very mediocre stuff, but you know what? I don't care. Anyway, it's the best I can do. So, and that's good enough. That's more than good enough. It's amazing. He pushed my paradigm. He kept telling me, well, these are Sasquatch. And I was like, that's not Sasquatch. Yes. And in the end, one day, he convinced me of quite a few things. There's some things I don't agree with him about, but doesn't that make for a better relationship? So, but his Sasquatch, the movement is very organic, very real to me. And the red color looks off, but the fur looks right. And the movement looks right. And it looks big. So, and just, make your own opinions and enjoy the footage.